This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. All details concerning the much talked about purchase of Grand Bahama's Grand Lucayan Resort will be laid on the table of the House of Assembly tomorrow. The property's purchase price has been pegged at $65 million, but it was recently revealed that the government has to pay another $1 million to Hutchinson Mampoa in losses. Press Secretary Anthony Newbold remained tight-lipped leading up to Wednesday's announcement, but he did reveal this much.
Remember now, the government bought this property to sell it. They took some actions to avert further disaster. What was happening in Grand Bahama was a disaster. Still is a disaster until the government concludes this and gets it going the way it ought to go. So the government is not out there buying this hotel saying, 5 years from now we're going to be making a profit. The government does not intend to be involved with this hotel 5 years from now.
The government will be responsible for the sprawling property until it finds a buyer. When asked if it takes longer than expected to sell, the PS had this response.
It's a hypothetical, we shouldn't go there. We'll see what happens after the sale is done with this guarantee tomorrow. And there's been interest expressed, and the government is confident that they will be able to sell it.
Governments have long stressed that the Grand Lucayan success is critical to Grand Bahama's economic survival. Officials can get down to work filling the skills gap in the country, and in doing so, reducing the number of work permits granted. This now that the National Committee of Industry and Skills Development has been launched. That happened on Monday during a national skills symposium at which Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis brought the keynote address. At the time, he noted that the recommendations emerging from the symposium will directly inform the Labor Ministry's decisions toward achieving a stated objective.
It is the intention of the government and a key objective of this symposium to identify the skill sets and certifications that are needed for the jobs of the future, so that along with other actions, we can reduce the dependency on foreign workers and increase local workforce skills capacity here in our country. Stimulate growth in the Bahamian economy and reduce the levels of unemployment.
Dr. Minnis also reaffirmed his government's commitment to education reform, which he accepts the results from the symposium would be able to assist.
It is anticipated that during your deliberations, many ideas and recommendations will emerge. It is envisaged that they will form the basis for the development and implementation of the best mechanisms to strengthen our educational system, and in particular, technical and vocational training programs.
Coming out of that symposium, there would be a report geared at assisting in linking the critical needs of employers with curricula and training. A lot of talk about conservation nowadays, but according to Environment Minister Romuald Ferreira, the only way to ensure the country's sustainability and the sustainable development of its natural resource is to base it on science and not just economic benefit. This as officials are keen on the Bahamas achieving a 20% protection rate for its marine resources.
At the turn of the millennium, the government of the Bahamas, supported by local conservation partners and other key stakeholders, renewed its commitment to sustaining a healthy marine environment by creating a network of marine protected areas. In more recent times, the Bahamas formally committed to the Caribbean Challenge Initiative to effectively conserve at least 20% of the nearshore marine resources of the Bahamas by 2020.
Our final stories are up next.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.